Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live here at Era Military Collectibles. I don't know what happened there. It told me I couldn't, live wasn't available at one stage, and then it wouldn't let me go online. So we're here now, hopefully. Hopefully, people will start trickling in. So it's been a. What are we going to talk about tonight? Finally, it's been a busy season, with shows and things like that. It is the end of my season. I know the lads in England have a couple of more shows to go to. Good evening, my good friend. Hello, Stan. How are you? I know the lads in England still have a few shows to go to, but it is the end of my season, my show season, and it has been a busy enough one. I was in England for Stoneleigh, the Living History UK Festival. We Have Ways, and that was it. And then I was also at the Naas Irish Military Show and the Cavan Military Show here in Ireland. Um, so yeah, and if I've forgotten anything, I apologise. Then on top of that, we were doing some filming for documentaries, obviously filming for other videos, for the videos that are up at the weekends and stuff. So it's been a busy year. Saw quite a few old spec DX for sale last week at the military fair. Yeah, you were at Did you meet up with Andrew and them? Because I think they were going to that fair as well. Um, did you pick up anything nice? Is the main question. Did you pick up some DX or anything like that? I am planning on going to Stoneleigh again next year in February. Um, and we're still debating on whether to have a stall there to try and sell off some surplus kit if it's between a few of us. The likes of me and Denny Reese, who is Herefordshire Regimental Museums on this, and some other guys from Living History UK. We may have a stall between us that we can sell off some bits and bobs. Plus, it gives us the opportunity that we can walk around the actual stall as well, or the actual site as well. Um, if any of you have ever been to Stoneleigh Military Fair, it is huge. It is massive. Um, we're already in the planning for what we're going to be doing next year. Um, as I said, I'm definitely going to Stoneleigh. Possibly Odyssey, more than likely Odyssey for next year, and then whatever other Irish shows I can get in. And I plan on meeting up with Andrew and the boys as well for Yorkshire next year. I missed it this year. Um, I think some things come up, family commitments come up and stuff like that. Um, but then again, it's all about cost. It's all about time and family matters and things like that. Because for me to go to England, you're talking €300 a go, roughly. So can't be going there every week, but we will get there again next year for a few. We'll see. Didn't see anyone. I was there about an hour from 10 a.m. Okay. How's things, Jude? All good, Jude. How are you? Got an ammo belt 303, Moors and the Ghent inert rounds, East German bayonet. That's it, really. Well, that's a nice bit of stuff to get. Steel, it's everyone. Village Collectibles, hello, how are you? Jude is saying hello, and Stan is saying hello to Cedar. So yeah, so it's that's what I've been up to. I did pick up some stuff, bits and bobs in Stoneleigh, or not in Stoneleigh, in England. There will be a video up the weekend of what we have picked up, um, and some things like that. Some stuff I had already gotten sent to Danny's, and I was waiting for it. And one interesting item. Really, well, they're all interesting items, but I'm really happy with one interesting item that we found in an army surplus that will be coming up on a video. Hello all, I can't stay. I'm in line to pack up my kid from school. I'm in line to pick up from my school. That's okay. No, this old helmet. That's no problem. How is the fella going, David? All good here. All good. How to stand? Got 14% battery on my phone. Will stay as long as I can. No hassle. There is no hassle. We might actually. We'll see how things go, and we'll see how we go tonight and how long we're going to go. And we normally go from about 40 minutes to an hour. That means you must be in the pub, CJ. So we'll wait and see. I know I have packages waiting to go, and I know I keep saying this. What's that nail off? I know I have packages ready to go. I want to go to Stan. I want going to Jim Timber in Poland. I want going to Scotland. There's one posted to Gabriel up in the north. They're very, very slow. Whatever it is lately, the postage for service is absolutely ridiculous. I know Andrew Johnson had made 2 attempts to post me basically a book from Scotland, and it went back to him the first time because the papers weren't filled out, and it went back to him the second time, and we don't know why. Me and Stan had the same issue with a helmet last year. Did it go from? Was I sending it to him or he was sending it to me? I can't remember what happened. But it basically came to Ireland, was rejected, was sent back. Then I sent him something, he had to pay tax on it that was ridiculous, even though it was marked as gift. It was, the postage service has gone bloody mental. Anything for wonderful me. Hello, Jakey. How are things, Mr. Jake Brown? How is JPC? JPC? Oh, Jake Brown Collection. Not tonight, Stan. The rain's raining like it's never rained before. Evening, mate. Hope all is well. All is well. I'm still recovering from We Have Way show, which was absolutely fantastic. If any of you have the opportunity to go to it, guys, go to it. It is it is a higher end show, but when I say higher end show, it is more expensive to go to it. But the stands, the stalls, the talks are of a higher caliber as well, so it is worth it. Jude Steins, I've just picked up a Ruger Mini 14 from a gunsmith tomorrow. It's legally compliant now. I'm fucking gutted. Oh, what happened? What had you to do with it? I can't remember. What had you to do with it? Did you have to do something with it, Jude? Evening, Dave. Anyone see the Forgotten Weapons latest video? The fella reckons that in the film, C.J. Jedivil at the end when he swaps the Mark 14 for the brain to take out shot isn't true. There is a story. If any of you know the Siege of Jedivil, it's an Irish thing. There was a story of a Bren gunner actually taking out somebody with a single shot. And the joke was that he was sort of like a sniper with a Bren gun. They did have a sniper there as well. So whether they put those 2 stories together and come up with that scene, shall we say, where the guy single shot at the guy with the Bren gun, and made it a Hollywood thing, but I don't know. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. Has it been done? Yes, it has been done. Where they've single shot at a Bren gun. Did the actual sniper physically look for the Bren gun and swap the Bren gun from his sniper or his Lee Enfield T? I don't know. I didn't hear of that happening, but I did hear of a guy singly shotting somebody with a Bren gun. So yeah, so there you go. I shall hold until relieved, David. I'm good, John. How about yourself? I'm good. I'm tired. I'm still recovering from the We Have Way show. We're getting there. I've just sent that to himself. I'm not sure what you mean, Dave. What you're talking about there. Great show, been there last 2 years. We Have Ways, yeah, it's fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic show. I was there with Les Parachutists, who is a group that I'm affiliated with, along with the Combined Forces Living History Group. They're the 2 main groups that I'm affiliated with. Living History UK, that's sort of amalgamated with Les Parachutists. So whenever we're doing the SAS stuff for Living History UK, it is with Les Parachutists. And it was a fantastic show. Absolutely bloody fantastic. I had to change it from semi-auto to manual operation. Ugh. Oh well, at least it's legal. Steelhammer Stan. I think Forgotten Weapons point was that the Mark IV sniper rifle was the best bit of kit instead of the Bren. Not maybe that it wasn't done. I think. Yeah, it does make no sense for you to swap a sniper rifle for a Bren gun. They would have had about the Bren gun. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head without looking up notes, but from what I remember, well, they're about the same. They would have about the same range. Um, I just don't. I understand. I don't know why they put it in. If it was just somebody single shotting with a Bren gun, I can understand that. Or if it was your man taking it out with a sniper rifle, I can understand that. I just don't know why. It does make no sense of the scene. I don't see why you would swap a sniper rifle for the Bren gun, just to make it look Hollywoody, I suppose. I guess, but there you go. Hello from Singapore. Um, I'm sorry, I missed one. I saw that Forgotten Weapons episode today. Some of what he says is shit. 2-inch groups with a Bren is totally possible. It is very possible to do a 2-inch group. I've actually seen a Bren do an inch group at a competition one time. So yeah, but that was at like 100 yards. But still. Um, hello from Singapore. Hello from Singapore. Or hello to Singapore. I actually just watched a show about Changi from World War II. Mr. Woodage, who I met at Living History or at We Have Ways show, I actually met him and he had a show about Changi. Because I'm starting to get, I don't know what it is, but I've sort of gotten an interest lately into the Chindits. So yeah, so I was looking up one of his shows about Changi. Hello, David. Hello, still understand. Cheers, Jude. Yeah, I'm not that up on the technical details of his video, but I have to admit when I saw the film, I had my doubts. Brains are very, very accurate. They're very slow rate of fire, and if you do have a very good machine gunner or a very good gunner on a brain, and he has good fingers, shall we say, he can no problem single shot it, not a bother. Um, he doesn't even have to be very, very trained. Or, like recruits, after a while, recruits will get the idea of doing it. It can be done, and if you have a good gunner, he's very, very good at doing it. They are very good at doing it. Oh, it's the man they call Shanahan from the wee island. Hello, Danny, Hereford Regimental Museums. Hello, the brother from another mother. Um, hello, Danny. Evening, Danny. Have you sorted your Amazon wish list yet? I have. I've done the research for stuff for the Amazon wish list, and I have the Amazon wish list put together. The issue I'm having is I'm not 100% sure how to put the Amazon wish list to all my previous videos and the videos that are coming up. Um, Hopefully I'll have that sorted out for the weekend. Now the Amazon wish list for you guys, they're here. It's not an advertisement. It's nothing. What the Amazon wish list is, people are asking me, have been asking me, how can I support the channel? What can I do for the channel? Whatever. So the Amazon wish list is basically a list of items that will help me for the channel. So it'll be camera gear. I have a new tripod on it because my other tripod is knackered. So there's a tripod on it, shall we say. There's some Odyssey reference books and research books and things like that. And they're on it. And it's completely up to anyone. If they want to have input into the channel or if they want to help the channel, they can buy stuff off the Amazon wish list. But that's it. I'm not advertising it or anything like that. I'm not trying to make money off it. People were saying like set up a Patreon, do this, do that, or whatever. I don't want to do that because I don't want people to be giving money that I'm going to invest back into my hobby, as in buy kit and stuff like that. So what I decided was that if I have an Amazon wish list for equipment for the channel, if they want to improve and help me improve the channel, that's fair enough. But I'm not going to ask them to buy or send me money or donate money or whatever for the actual collection because that's not fair. I don't believe that is fair. So that's what the Amazon wish list, if any of you if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Jim Timber, Poland calling. I need an umbrella. Has actually got an umbrella. Hello, Jim Timber from Poland. How are you? How are you keeping? I hope you're keeping well in Poland. Very powerful documentary about the end of the Empire Mercenaries Africa on YouTube. Africa in Indio, or Africa Blood and Guts. It's a very brutal film. I must look that up actually. I haven't seen that one. The last one I watched was one. The last sort of end of Empire one I watched was about Aiden and Mad Mitch and the Argyles in the Battle of Crater City. If any of you've seen that, that's actually on YouTube as well. Very, very good YouTube. Do you like pints of limoncello? No, I don't like pints of limoncello. Ask Paul, Danny, if he likes pints of limoncello. I'd say he's still suffering from it. Flaming Hell is the Richard Burton from Where Eagles There. Yes. If you're talking about We Have Ways, Still Understand, they did have the actor who played the Gestapo man at Living History, or at the We Have Ways festival, giving a talk from Where Eagles There. So yeah, so he was there. The main organizers for it are Al Murray and James Holland. That Woodage was there. Keith Woodage was there from World War II TV. O'Leary, the presenter from X Factor, he was there. I didn't know he was a history buff, but he was there. He's actually a history buff. There was loads of key presenters there and guest presenters and stuff like that. A lot of top end authors and historians and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Nope, it's Jim Timber. We saw the Gestapo officer from Where We Have Eagles. Yeah, he was there. I was just mentioning that, Danny. Sword brought to Banny Die. You sure me Danny Boy or something like that. Those lines. Yeah, I think the actor Nesbitt. That's the lad. I think it was him. It was him, Nesbitt. Also, the doubt about the Jabbit movie is, would someone trained in a number 4 sniper rifle as a sniper also be trained as a brain, as there were two different trades and two different. Yes and no. No, I don't know about back then, but now, in the Irish Defence Forces, you're cross-trained. You're cross-trained on a multiple things because the army's so small. So when I was serving in the Defence Forces, I was trained on the radio, the SINGAR. I was trained GPMG and General Purpose Machine Gun SF. I was trained on the .5. No, I was in a support company, so it's slightly different. I was trained on the .5 Browning .5 heavy machine gun, the 60 mortar, the 81 mortar, the Milan, the 84 Carl Gustaf. What else was I trained on? And then obviously when I went on, I did my snipers training. I was trained on the Accuracy International. Along with that, then we were trained on our regular rifles like the Steyrs. We had the BAPs at the time, the Browning automatic pistol. We were trained on them. And then your standard general purpose machine gun, GPMG. Because we were in a support company, then we used to get to play with other stuff. Like we were on the range a lot, and we used to come across the Garda Reserve unit or the Garda Armed Response units when they were training. So we were sometimes we were able to use their weapons. So I fired the MP5, I fired an Uzi, I fired a G3, different types of shotguns. Then I got sent to the weapons school for a while. So when we were testing the new 60, because when I was in this, the 60s we were using, there was a catastrophic accident, and a girl lost her hand. So they were changing the new 60s. So a few of us that were 60 qualified were sent to the weapons wing to test new 60s. We tested the Israeli ones, we tested a Spanish one, a South African one. And while we were up there, then we got to test other bits and bobs that the weapons school were testing as well at the same time. So yeah, it is feasible. it is feasible for a sniper to have been trained on the Bren, because everybody, when they leave recruit training in Ireland, you're qualified to work your general standard assault rifle, the general purpose machine gun, and the 203 grenade launcher. They're the three weapons that you're qualified to use when you leave recruit training. So yeah, so it would be feasible for him to do that. Yeah. Sorry, a lot of questions. Yeah, after missing a lot of questions. Miniature collectibles, yeah. So I hope I answered that question. James Holland's book on the Dam Busters is really good. I haven't read it actually. I've read some of his books, but I need to get up with this stuff. Proper, good public asking sensible, in-depth questions. Yes, yes, there was. I was asked some very good questions about Paddy Mayne. I suppose because of my accent, they obviously thought I was an expert or thought I had an in-depth knowledge of poor old Paddy Mayne. But yeah, some people ask me some very interesting. Like what Danny means by that question is sometimes you go to shows and it's like, is that a real tent? Or is that a real fire? Is that real wool? Whereas these were actually proper questions. It was I wouldn't say a higher class because that sounds a bit bad, but it was definitely people that were interested, people that had read books, people that had. It wasn't a day out for them. It was a festival. They went to the festival for the weekend, um, and they would literally go from stall to stall and ask really in depth questions like when was um, the Vickers K machine guns like? What was the cyclic rate of fire on them? Why did they use those? The Jeeps. What was the Jeeps specific cut down and things like that? So yes, it was very very good questions. Infantry in World War II would go through basic battle school on the Mark IV and the Bren. Being gone to specialist schools, mortar, sniper, etc. Yeah, that's how it works pretty much in Ireland as well. You go to, so when you come out of recruit, you go to your recruit training and you do, I can't remember what it is now. When I was there, was it 16 weeks? You have your initial basic training part, and then you have your 2 to 3 star training. Was it 12 weeks and then 8 weeks? Or was it 16 weeks and 8 weeks? I can't remember what it was. But you have two main parts of training. So you have your basic recruit training. When you're in your basic recruit training, after basic recruit training, then you sort of get to ask where to go. Whether you want to go cavalry, infantry, or artillery. And the army will basically send you wherever they want to send you anyway. So when I finished my recruit training, I asked for A Company Limerick, 12th Battalion, or B Company Clonmel, 12th Battalion. I got Support Company 4th Battalion Cork. So that's how that works out. So the one good thing about, because I was being sent to a support company, so it was when I went to support company and I carried on my 2 to 3 star training, which is like your advanced infantry training. So you do your FIBIA, your FIBIA riot training. Sorry, FIBIA, which is fighting in built up areas. Your DIBIA, defending in built up areas. Advanced patrolling. All that's in that block. So then when I finished that, I was sent straight onto my light infantry weapons course. So when I did my light infantry weapons course, then I was qualified on the 60, the 84, Carl Gustav 84, the Milan, the Shraw you do in recruit training, or the 84, the AT4, which is made by Saab, which is basically a disposable rocket. What else did we do? Point 5. No, I did Point 5 as a separate course. So it was general purpose machine gun SF, 60mm mortar, Milan, and Gustav. Was that what it was? There was 4. So yeah, when I did my infantry weapon school, or my what do you call it? Oh, I can't think of the name of it now off the top of my head. Basic infantry weapon school, or infantry sport company. Oh, I can't. It'll come to me anyway. So I did that after recruit training, and after recruit training, after my 2 to 3 star training. After my 2 to 3 star training, then I did Singar course. So we had to learn the big Singar and the small Singar, because we had 2 different types, which is an American thing. We had done a bit of it in recruit training, but then I had to do the regimental signalers course, which is sort of advanced one again then after that. So I did that. Then I went overseas, did other bits and bobs, and things like that. And then later on in my career, I did the snipers course. So yeah. And then in between that, then I did the NBC course as well, the nuclear and biological chemical specialist course, which is balls. We were actually detailed for that because no one had volunteered for it because it's such a horrible course. Lighting with Trippins course was what I was thinking of. So when you come out of recruit training, you're qualified on the 203 grenade launcher, which is the fits at the bottom of the Steyr, and the general purpose machine gun, and the Shraw. When you come out of recruit training, there's the three weapons you fire in recruit training, and then you just carry on and do other bits and bobs then after that. So yeah. Where are we going? Having an AT capability is yes. I suppose I should have. Hindsight is a great thing, but I should have qualified or had something that would have carried over into Civvy Street because all of my military training was infantry, blow stuff up, shoot stuff, which isn't really good for civilian street. So if I could have my time back again, even if it was something simple like a typer's course or a computer course or something like that, and then do all the gunny stuff. But look, hindsight is a great thing. I fired the L7 Gimpy at certain points during the training. I certainly believe it was firing me. I like the GPMG. Out of all the weapons I fired, probably my favorite. Believe it or not, bog standard Steyr. Accuracy International is good as well. But I loved firing the .5 heavy machine gun. I loved that thing when you're behind it. I loved it. Yeah. I see Damien Nesbitt in a YouTube video being interviewed, and I'm sure he is temporarily blinded by the blood spurb went off in his face when he was shot. It was left in front. Yeah, he said that. It was one of the other lads, Dean, that was there. He was telling us the story that he actually went to the full talk, whereas the rest of us sort of didn't realise it was going on. But he said he was very, very good. And there are shows, and I believe if you look up the We Have Ways podcast and YouTube channel, those interviews are actually on the thing. So go check them out. Actually, Gimpy go. I love the GPMG. I do love the GPMG. It's a great gun, but it weighs a fucking ton for somebody my size. I did spend a bit of a time as a gunner in recruit training and after recruit training and stuff like that. But yeah, it weighs a bloody ton. And the way it works is usually the junior guy in the section when you go to the battalion gets either the radio or gets the GPMG. And I got the GPMG. So, yeah. Completely agree, John. It's a very different level of caliber of public question, which is great. It is, yeah, it is. It's I don't want to sound bad or sound uppity, but I don't want to say that they're better educated or they're better higher caliber. It's just that they have like you go to some shows and it's just like a day out with the kids and stuff like that. Whereas these guys, when they were coming there, it was specific history. They were here to study history. If you get me. Yeah. Why do you keep calling the number 4 Mark 4? Who me? Who keeps calling the Mark 4? If I do, I apologise. It is the number 4. And then the sniper version is the number 4 Mark T. I'm showing my future brother-in-law round my collection tomorrow. He's a sergeant major in the army. Lancashire, I think. Oh, very cool. Very cool. It'd be nice actually to see if you could do a video up with him. Like veteran type video. On one, I think that was the call. I'm not sure what Jim is talking about there. Donkey wallopers. Yeah. There we go. Hi Jude, if you meant my first comment, Result is brain fog. Hi, just popping in to say hello. Kenny, hello Kenny, how are you? On a date, Kenny. Well, if you're on a date, don't be bloody here talking to us. Steve, Kenny, David. Not that is the priesthood, but the effort is similar. Hello, Kenny, bro. I doubt will promise not to safety catches on David. Jimpy. Unleash the Jimpy, said Dom. The Gimpy. But John, you did have fun doing it, admitted. Carrying the GPMG around. Yeah, it was fun, but it was a horrible time to be carrying. It's £23 just the gun alone. 50 round belt is £1. We used to carry them in 100 round belt, so that's £2. You had, if I remember correctly now, the loadout. So you had the GPMG, you had a 50 round belt on it, you had 200 rounds on your right and left hip. Everyone else carried 100 rounds as well. So £23. What did I say? 50 was £1. So 50. So 23 and a half pounds. Sorry, £24 just on the gun. Then you had another £2 on your right hip, another £2 on your left hip. So 26, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So £29 just in ammo and gun. Then you're talking your weapon, so you'd have your water, your food, and all that, and your backpack with all your spare clothes and stuff like that. So it is a bloody struggle carrying that, you know. And then we weren't allowed to carry it. Sometimes, very rarely, they'd let us sort of have it across our shoulders. But 90% of the time, we had to carry it at what was known as the hip carry. For us, it was called the hip carry. Whereas most guys have the rifles up to their shoulder, well, not up to their shoulder, but up to their chest, ready to lift. Whereas we'd have it at the hip and the sling. That if anything happened, we could just belt off the 50 round thing, because you had to lie down to fire the GPMG. You couldn't stand with it. You had to sit down with it. Yeah. The little fella always gets the gun. Yeah, or the bloody radio. The Chalk Valley Farm Show is the same. No scruff. Lots of ex-guards officers and Daily Mail readers. We might be at Chalk Valley next year. Oh, okay. That's cool. Didn't know that one. But if we are, we'll be there. Two good crosswords. Jim Kimber. Have fun, Kenny. I have a date on old palm tree. Saving it for Christmas. Yeah, so I must listen to that We Have Ways or not the We Have Ways podcast. What you say was the Armourer's Bench? I must watch their video and have a look at it and see what's happening. As I said, it's the end of my season for this year. I was so far this year. I managed to get to Stoneleigh. I managed to get to the Living History UK Festival. I got to We Have Ways. I got to the Kevin Military Show. I got to the NACE show. And in between that, then I got to the Enniskillen Dragoons Museum, Enniskillen Dragoons and Fusiliers Museum in Enniskillen Castle. So it's been a productive year. So hopefully next year will be the same. As I said, shows are fun to go to, and I always love going to them and stuff like that, but they are costly for me, especially the ones in England. So we will be going to more next year. Looking like Odyssey. Probably We Have Ways again. And I want to get to do one with the Combined Living History group as well. So we will see. And I will probably be at the Living History UK Festival as well. Come to that. It's good Lou roll at a push as well. The Times or the Independent. I reckon it's every newspaper. Who's planning to come to Stoneleigh next year? Channel meetup. at the Burger Van. That would be cool actually, because I am planning on going to Stoneleigh next year. So we could have a channel meetup if anyone wants to say hello to me and Danny. We'll get Danny to sign autographs. We will be at the Burger Van from 12 o'clock till 10 past 12. Stoneleigh is a very good. If any of you are into military collecting, or if any of you are into um, anything to do with military collecting, go to Stoneleigh. It is a big bloody. It's unbelievable. I was actually taken back last year what was there, and I need to do a list this year for when I'm going and what I actually want to get. So yeah, so Stoneleigh is worth it going there. Funny you just mentioned slings. Only just discovered how much better the Sterling sling is over the SLR sling. I can't remember a Sterling sling. SLR is very thick anyway. You need to wear them out a bit. Matt Moss is a great guy, and the Armour's Bench is a great channel. We're not saying it isn't, Jake. We're just discussing it really. Chalk Valley is a good gig. I have done a couple of them. Always interesting and a good beer tent. Chalk Valley. Definitely not done Chalk Valley anyway. I'm just trying to think of what time of year it is. Everyone needs to go to Stoneleigh. No excuse. Yes. Definitely. Stan, if you're there, put Stoneleigh down on your bucket list for next year. Because it is a very good thing to go to. I'm going to have I have a lot of kit, doubles and thirds and seconds of kit that will be going for sale throughout the year to fund my Stoneleigh expedition. Stoneleigh can be a good tonnage of tat recovered. Yes, Stoneleigh is very good. Les Para SAS have been invited to Chalk Valley. Oh, okay. I will look into it definitely. You should stand, even if you get the bus down and stay down overnight or something. Or the train though. I can't remember what time me and Danny cracked off that. We were there. We wanted to be there a bit earlier, but for some reason we were just a small bit late for the early doors. I think we got there around 9 or 10. But they had been open at that stage. Yeah, they were open at that stage a small bit. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you need to get there as early as possible, and have a plan. So what we did was we literally walked. There's two halls there, if I remember. Yeah, there's two halls. There's a small hall and a big hall. A small hall is fucking huge as well. So we walked that first of all. So you even have to have a plan on. We go around the outside first, then you cross over and go around the inside, um, and then you have to go do this type of thing, and then you go. So we did that. Got all the stalls. Had an idea in our head what we wanted to come back into Czechia and look at, and then went back into the other hall and did the same thing around there. And then we sort of had a lunch break, quick lunch break. And then we just literally did that then. So we said, okay, I remember there's a stall here I want to go. And even at that, even doing that first initial recce, there was still stuff. Because like I got my Lovett Scouts Ackle there, and we hadn't spotted it. We hadn't spotted it on the first one. And we were looking at something at a stall. And it was me, Danny, and Chuckles, and we were just Chuckles is another friend of ours, and we were looking at something at this stall, and Chuckles just sort of glanced up like that, and he was like, "Oh, you're looking for one of them," and it was like an ackle. So I went over, and I didn't pay. I only paid like £40 or something like that for the ackle, if I remember off the top of my head. It was a good deal anyway. Then way in the corner, we found a group or a stall that were selling specific op banner in Northern Ireland stuff and Irish stuff. They were an Irish trader. We didn't find them till late neither. And then I came back then and I got something off of them later on. So yeah, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. I will look into it. Respect for getting that gig. The Chalk Valley one, where we have ways. Stan, there was a hole discovered in the road here in Poland, and the police are looking into it. If any of you have seen Irish news lately, it's crazy. There was a load of lads on the beach, and they dug a hole, a round, perfectly round hole in the beach, and left a rock in it, right? And I don't know whether they did it out of spite or out of malice or out of, as a joke or whatever. But the next thing, it's been in the newspapers and it was on the RTE News and all these networks. Meteor hits the beach, and it was all these geologists looking at it going, yes, it's definitely a meteor strike. And it wasn't. It was just these lads dug a fucking hole and put this rock into it. And it's created absolute carnage here on the local newspapers and these so-called experts that are like, yes, it's definitely a meteor strike. I reckon that you need an idea with what you wanted to buy, with there being so much. Yes, you definitely need to have a list of like, important things that you want to try and get. Jim Timbers on the beer. Timbers, I ordered you the drink, another can of beer. Once the feeding frenzy begins, Stonely gets messy. It wasn't messy when we were there, really. It was a nice crowd there. I know reports of pickpockets, but I think that got quelled really quick. All right, have 4. You've got to be antisocial on the first trip around the halls to ensure that you see the halls. Also, pre-arranged purchases with dealers and pickups at the end of the day. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Actually. I get you, Danny, as if you bought a DX or two, you wouldn't want to lug it around all day. You do actually see people carrying around DX all the time, especially at Stoney and stuff like that. Nah, most dealers will keep them on the stock. Yeah, they do. But I do remember seeing guys carrying DX a lot. I remember seeing a guy with a big brown vest with a bayonet on top of it. And he was about 6 foot something as well. And a brown vest with a bayonet on it is fucking tall anyway, as it was. Like, he was going out to the crowd like this with it. He's going, Jesus, someone's going to get skewered. But yeah, I do remember seeing that. I think Chuckles was actually with me when we were watching that. We were like going, yeah, bayonet practice. Problem is hauling your own kit and not having free hands to grab more tat. That's why I was wearing a backpack, and I ended up carrying a load of stuff in the backpack. But yeah, I do see what you mean. Right, guys. So we've been on 44 minutes. So Terry Savalas, hello, my friends. Hello, how are you? And an empty wallet. Yeah, the wallet does empty out fairly quick. It's lonely. So we've been on for 45 minutes. So if any of you have any questions, any queries for the last 5 minutes, don't be afraid to ask. If not, we'll log out at around 50 minutes, and we will be back next week at 8 o'clock as always. Tomorrow veterans will come to Arnhem and Eindhoven. Oh sure, it's the anniversary of Marky Carden. Always think about your logistics. You break your wallet down, cash in a few pockets, recommended in case of unsavory characters. Yes, exactly. Or have it on your inside pocket. I think I had it on my front pockets with my hands in my pockets as well at the same time. I have a question. Why am I so broke? Jim, where do we start? Where do we start with that question? Do you go on a look to something Line of Fire movie? I'm not sure. Because it's a little bloody hard to watch this. We'll give that a whack and see what happens. There we go. Press that. There we go. A few likes. Oh, hang on. I'm not going to read the question. No, I can't. Oh, there we go. Life story of a Dutch Green Beret in the Line of Fire movie. Is that on YouTube or where is it, Terry? Season 2 of Blue Lights. When's that out? Is that out now? Oh, I need to look that up. season 2 of Blue Lights. If any of you don't know what Blue Lights is it's like a bill type thing about the PSMI in the north. Old woman. I just got a bayonet for my Mosin Nagant rifle I've had for years, and it was tight. I've read that each rifle had its own individual bayonet number to it. I've opened up the sleeve and it fits. Oh, cool. That's for now, ladies and gentlemen. Have you U.S. Army Class A here? I don't, Terry. I don't. I don't have much American stuff anymore. I do have an original American helmet, but that's about it. I did have a lot of American stuff, but I cut back because I was trying to concentrate on the British SAS World War II stuff. Laters, mate. See you, David. Jim Timber break because you have expensive hobbies, mate. The movie is in the cinema now. Oh, okay. I need to look it up. What is Nupter Ducky? Blue lights for me meant that I had to slow down on the motorway. Stand in. It's more a case of Russian engineering. Tolerance is very plus or minus half an inch. Yes. I was actually watching something there today. The Singer company, the Singer sewing machines. Well, they were asked by the Americans during the Second World War to make 1911s. So they tried production of 1911s, and they made something like 100 or 200 or something. And they couldn't keep up with manufacturing, so they lost the contract, or they changed on to do something else. But apparently the stuff inside the Singer machines, everything was made specifically by Singer in the Singer factories. And they only made maximum 500 of these 1911 pistols. They're worth $250,000 if you have one of them. So there you go. So keep an eye out at these shows, guys, for a 1911 that has Singer on it. That's not Pepsi Max Shredder. It's not. There are other soft drinks available. YouTube. Have anyone seen the Death on the Nile 2022 movie? No, I haven't seen it, Terry. Sorry. Jude Stein's I only collect T cards now. Okay, Danny. Anyway, I hammer the same gun oil and it comes off. I'm on about almost. Now was it butter? Never had problems with Mosin Nagant bayonets and these gross rods. Is this sure? It begins in World War I at the was a Belgian soldier at the time. Was it marriage butter? It fits now. Can't leave it on too tall for the display, and there's only never bought one on before. That's why I never put one on for. Is Paddy Mayne's Jeep still around? No. His actual original. I believe, Danny might correct me here, I believe there's only two proper SAS Jeeps left. One is in Belgium, and the other is in a private collection, I believe. They're the only two. Sorry, there's three. And there's two in private collections, one Belgian, one in a museum. There is a copy of Paddy Mayne's floating around in it used to be the Paddy Mayne Museum in the north. I don't know what it's called now because I know I know they ran into problems with funding and with establishment. So I don't know if it's still going around, but I know it was a copy. I think it was an original Jeep, but it was made to look like Paddy Mayne's Jeep. And Paddy Mayne's Jeep was very specific. He liked to have airborne .5 machine gun on the passenger side. was Paddy Mayne's sort of favourite thing he used to do. And there was always a shamrock on his Jeep as well. Um, so yeah. I hear the Rackino built M1 carbine are the most collectible too. Rackino built jukeboxes. Some change. If Danny's still there, he's a M1 carbine nut. Um, there is a number of Jeep he had after the war still exists, but not the SS, just a standard Jeep he owned by him. I know there was one on his estate, his family estate. They gifted him a Jeep. I don't know whatever happened to that one. Or Albert Henning. John, do you have World War II jerry cans in your collection? No, don't. Not jerry cans. Sorry. Um, Danny has. Danny has original jerry cans on his collection. He's got a Wehrmacht one in his Jeep. Um, yes, M8. M8 was the knives that the SS used to carry. Dave Scott's Steve's on McDonald's. Yes, I have the Rocco carbon in my collection. Okay, Dave, do you do it tomorrow? I do have one Diak one for adoption, if anyone is interested. Well, Jude is Irish. I don't know how he'd be able to get it over, but I'm sure he'd know. I think he actually has an import firearms license. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask him. Do you know how that David scored in Iron Eagle from an exit? Waiting German World War II German. Did you know that David Scar is in Iron Eagle from wearing German World War II? I know a way that they used to get out of. They would wear real ribbon bars in a lot of the movies, and especially if there was a gallantry medal and things like that on it, rather than being offensive and having them, they would flip them upside down. So if you actually see, I think it's to do with copyright as well. But so you do see the especially the DS or the DM, the DSM, the Distinguished Service Medal, or whatever. It's got a distinctive ribbon. It's white, blue, white, red, blue, and stuff like that. But you will see that here, and then you see instead of being here, you will see that this side, and then you'll see the trio of First World War medals, rather than being flipped around the other way. I think a lot of the ribbons on the likes of Dad's armies were sort of half correct, and then they'd take one and put it out of sequence and stuff like that. So yeah. Has anyone got a Denison Paris smock? I have, but not an original. Danny has the nearest one that you're going to come to an original or sort of Ferrari of the reproduction world, which would be. Well, actually, I'm not going to say because I can't, because then it would be an advert. But if you're in the collecting world, you will know who, or the reenacting world, you will know who this gentleman is. Jim Timber. He has a Denison for sale, but it's not an original. I don't think it is. Terry Savalas. In the movie Yanks 1979, the US officer fires into Ireland. How is that possible? I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Hereford Regimental Museum, please contact me at SpickyRobinson11 at hotmail.com. Oh, okay. I have a firing M1 carbine, but it's an Ireland post-war one. Manual operated. No self-loader allowed here now. That's crap. Right, guys, so our hour is up, as always. What is the right price for the Royal Ulster Rifles cap badge? maximum £40, 40, £50 for a cat badge, depending on what it is. Have I got one spare? I don't have one spare. I don't have one to show you around. You will get there are silver ones, actually sterling silver ones. You need the King's Crown on it for it to be Royal Ulster Rifles. But you can pick them up from anything from a tenner to £40. £40 would be the maximum, I would say. Sorry. €60, no. €60 is too much. You're talking 45, €50 max for a really early one. I have a self-loading melon. Right, guys. So there you go. So enjoy. Have a great weekend. And as always, I will see you all next Friday at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned over the weekend for some videos. The We Have Ways video will hopefully be up tomorrow. So enjoy, guys. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves. And we will see you all next week.